Hello, hello, everyone. It is Hannah the Bianca again. Thank you so much for watching another segment. Really excited about today's really quick tip. So, if this is your first time watching, I am Hannah the Bianca again, and I teach HR professionals how to turn their expertise into a viable business. So, today's quick tip is surrounding a question that I get a lot from my coaching clients. So, a little bit about me. I have 15 plus years of experience in human resources from nonprofit sectors, Fortune 500 to federal government, launched out on my own into the deep sea waters, and started my own HR consulting business. But before I stepped out into full time business ownership, I was actually working when I started. So I was working full time and building on my business part time. And I've just had a lot of experience. And I wish that I had mentors and people that I could go to. I just really didn't know a lot of people in the HR consulting space. And if they were in a HR consulting space, they were like so high up doing like huge things. And I just wasn't there, if that makes any sense. So my whole purpose is to be able to give back so that way you all don't go through the same things that I've gone through. Or maybe you do go through the same things that I've gone through, but hopefully it can make your process and your transition a whole lot more seamless with some of the things that I've learned, some of the strategies I've learned. So if you are in fact interested in more information, you can definitely feel free to reach out to our team at services at career-image.com. We even have an email distribution just for you. So if you're interested in getting on our email list, definitely go to bit.ly/HRpreneurs. That's all cap, HRpreneurs, all caps. All right. So you might be working a full-time job and you're like, hey, I have all this HR expertise. I don't really even know what to charge. First of all, like I just got my website and, oh my goodness, I just got this new client, whatever it might be. Or I got a client, I have a few clients under my belt, but I just really didn't know what to charge them, whatever your situation might be. Let me tell you, even if you know what to charge them, I guarantee you that your pricing is probably always going to change. So just take a deep breath, okay, and just realize that, okay, in business, when you start your HR consulting business, I don't care if you are just started or you've been in business now for 10 years, whether full-time or you're still working a full-time job, your pricing is always going to be like an onion, right? Because the market changes, your services, your offerings change. You might have to hire your cost of doing business just changes. So sometimes you have to change those prices. There are some people that I know that had to actually decrease their prices because they're like, hey, they were coming a little bit too high for what they were offering. And I know people sometimes say things like, oh, well, if you can't pay my price, then you're just not the customer for me. Listen, you have to use some practical wisdom in there as well, okay? If nobody is hitting you up, you might need to relook at your pricing strategy. Is that all right to say? I'm just saying, don't kill the messenger. I'm just saying, if you're not getting any customers, eh, it's not because they're not your right customers, because your price is probably just not right. All right, I'm off my soapbox. So I've learned a whole lot about pricing, a whole lot, and I'm still learning a whole lot. In fact, I learned so much of what I've done through coaching, just through different coaches, and once I learned that I invested in myself, it's just amazing. Once I invested in myself, it gave me what's the word I'm looking for? It gave me the audacity to also charge an investment price to work with me. It's like, oh my gosh, like if I am worth investing in myself, then I'm worth also charging you to invest in me because I know what I bring to the table. And again, that's like no false confidence. It's just like, hey, I kind of know some things. I know what I'm doing. It's not like, oh, I have to go on Google. Like, no, I know what I'm doing. And not only that, I really do feel like, this is a calling. This is a ministry for me. What I know in HR, like, I just feel like it's a ministry. But check out some other videos to find out more information about that. So listen, we're going to talk about pricing, or, what to charge rather. I'm not going to talk about pricing, but I'm going to talk about how do you determine what to charge when you are offering services in your HR consulting business. Now, some of you might be saying, oh, you might offer resumes, you might offer, interview coaching, stuff for career professionals, or you might offer services to businesses, whatever it is that you offer. I think that these 3 tips are definitely going to apply to you. So number 1, you want to do your market research. How do you do your market research? You don't just go online and Google, although that is a good way for you to do that, but talk to some other HR professionals and see what they charge. See what companies are paying for the services that you're looking to offer. Do like a pilot study, right? So maybe you do a poll for people that you know, and you say, hey, do you mind taking a survey for me? And just ask them, hey, what would you pay for this? So that's market research to me. It's because just because it's on Google doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to directly apply to you, because it depends on where you are, where your location is. Are you in the right city? What city are you in? What state are you in? Have the laws recently changed? Like, it just depends. So I would reach out to individuals that might be already in your network, either other HR professionals that are in business. Hopefully, some other people. I know that there are a lot of us out here now. But if you don't know anyone, you need to befriend some. Sorry, my camera moved, but you need to befriend some. But in addition to that, just doing market research is just really valuable information. So that way you can figure out, do you want to be below market? Do you want to be at the market? Or do you want to be above market, right? So I know that there's some perceived value at each level. Of where you are on that scale, below the market, at the market, or above the market. So you just have to determine where your business is, what you want to do, who you're trying to attract, to figure out what your perceived value should be. Some people say, hey, you know what? I'm just starting out. I want to be below market so that way I can at least get some people under my belt, especially for those of you that are looking to do business with the government, the federal government, things of that nature. You want to get some history of performance so that way you can actually go to the table and say, hey, I didn't just do this for my job, but hey, I've done this for a few clients, right? And to get some testimonials, things of that nature. And then once you show your value, then you're like, hey, let me at least go to market, and then let me go above. And then there's some of you that are just bold and bona fide and like, hey, listen, I don't know if bona fide is a word. Bona fide, I think it is a word. Don't judge me. So there are some of you, and that's not how I was, by all means. So there are some of you that are like, hey, you know what? I'm just going to shoot my best shot. And I'm just going to go above market, and boom, people pay it, they pay it. They don't pay it, they don't pay it. So it's up to you. Tip number 2 is to use your current rate as your benchmark. So if you are currently watching, most of the individuals, listen, and please type in the comments section below. Let me know if you are full-time, if you're full-time in your business, or if you have staff members in your HR consulting business, or if you're still working full-time and you're looking to start your HR business on the side, or you've already started, or you're just looking to grow it. Okay, so tip number 2 is use your current rate as your benchmark. So this is really going to be critical for those of you that are currently working. So you want to, if you're currently working, that especially if you're doing B2B, if you're going to businesses offering trainings and programs and employee manuals, whatever it is that you're offering as part of your core services, if it requires you to leave your job, to be away from your job during a work day or the time that you normally would be at work, you want to look at your current rate of pay and the hours that you're going to be gone for and the hours of preparation. And you want to determine, is the amount of money that I'm going to get from this project that's taking me away from my job, that's paying me, I'm just using really low examples, that's paying me $300 a day. If I get paid $300 a day at my job, then for 8 hours a day, 6 hours a day, whatever it may be, then you want to ask yourself, if I leave, am I going to be getting paid at least $300? Right? Because it needs to make sense. It needs to make sense. So again, you don't necessarily have to follow this rule of thumb. There's so many different strategies, especially if you're just for first starting out, that might not be the what's the best analogy necessarily, because there might be some things that you need to do for free or at lower cost, again, just to kind of get your testimonials up. But again, I think it's just a really good rule of thumb, or a good philosophy rather. If you are struggling on what to charge, you could use, outside of the market research, you could just use what you currently make as a benchmark and just say, hey, you know what? I get paid $300 a day. So if this is going to cost me, if I'm going to be away from work the whole day, I'm going to at least need to make $300, or I'm going to at least need to make $400 because I already make $300, blah, blah, blah. Or, hey, I get paid $33 an hour at my job. So if this project is going to take me 3 hours, I'm going to at least need to be paid, whatever, the 3 to 90, $99, right? I'm going to at least need to be paid that. Mathematicians check me on that. All right. So hopefully that helps. That is tip number 2. All right. Tip number 3. So consider flat fees versus hourly rates. Depending on what you do, again, this video isn't that long, but definitely look out for some information. You want to subscribe to our newsletter because we will be rolling out a program just for you, some digital training, as well as live training for those of you that are in the DMV commuting area. We're going to be doing a live HRpreneur workshop just for you. So you want to make sure that you are subscribing to bit.ly/HRpreneurs, PRENEURS. I had to do that. Any of you have to do that, like to figure out how to spell? Anyway, so I do. So tip number 3 is consider flat fees versus hourly rates. So when I first got started out, I was just charging hourly. Oh, it might take me blah, blah, blah. It might take me 3 hours to do it. It might take me, so what I realized is that sometimes, depending on what you are offering, so my company, Career Image Solutions, we offer services to both the career professional as well as the business, of all different sizes. So initially, I was just offering services to career professionals. So for me, I felt like the hourly rate made the most sense. But what I have realized is that sometimes it might be good for you to have 2 types of packages, right? So if you're going to charge hourly rates, you could maybe use some market research, but also maybe estimate the approximate value or the approximate amount of time that it will take you to actually complete a particular task. Or you might want to package different things together, right? So that way it's just a flat fee. And then maybe you add an extra 2 hours for preparation and administrative work. So that way you just bundle it all together and say, hey, this is a flat fee for this service, rather than you like having to track your hours. And in the event you go over the approximate hours, especially dealing with career professionals, it's just a little different. Career professionals, they are not trying to hear that like you went over. Like, that is not my fault. When you're doing B2B, it might be a little different, but typically with the career professionals, they're not like, hey, no, you told me it was going to take you 5 hours. I don't really care that it took 7 hours. At least that's just been my experience. So again, you might want to consider that. Like, do I want to do hourly? Do I want to do a flat rate? Or do I want to do both? You might want to consider doing both. So I do both. I use hourly rates for certain services. I use flat fees for certain services, and I have different packages for different services. Some of those packages, again, for either the business, the organization that we're going to actually train. We do train other HR professionals as well, like kind of like the trainer. Or are we doing that for career professionals? So hopefully these 3 tips helped you in trying to determine what to charge. If this information was helpful, please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I have not found any other channel out there like this that's talking to HR professionals about how to monetize what they know in HR so they can build a valuable business. So please make sure that you give me a thumbs up, send me some comments. I am interactive. I love meeting new people, especially if you are in the DMV community area. Again, I want to meet you. I'm sometimes traveling. I know I'll be in Georgia coming up pretty soon. So if you're in Georgia, make sure you DM me. I'll be around. I can tell you the conference that I'll be speaking at. But definitely feel free to subscribe to our newsletter so that way you can be in the know about what's happening because we are in just total content mode right now where we are going to be providing some amazing content information that I wish I would have known. I know that if someone coached me through, so I had business coaches, but there was no one that knew the specifics about running an HR business, about like how to package it, what services to offer, what does the market want, what do businesses want, what I mean, there wasn't anyone to really kind of share that. I knew what my job was paying me to do, but you will find, if you haven't already, that when you step into the world of entrepreneurship, of business ownership, that the game is a little different. And just because do training for the senior levels at your job, you're like, oh, I could do senior level training, for other companies. Well, you have to write your proposals. You have to make sure your pricing is right. You have to make sure you have your bio. You have to make sure you have your speaker one sheet. You have to make. I mean, there's so many things that come into play, and those are the things that I want to help you do as HR professionals, because we need more HR professionals that are integrity driven, that are passionate about changing the world, because that's what we do. That's what we do. One business, one employee at a time. We are literally changing the world. And not to mention those of us that are changing the career trajectory of people's lives by helping with their resumes and their career services. I mean, we are changing the world. We are HR superstars. Come on. All right. That's my soapbox. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to our team at services at career-image.com. Services at career-image.com. Again, the subscription link to our newsletter is bit.ly/HRpreneurs. HRpreneurs is all caps. If you're looking for more information about our company, Career Image Solutions, feel free to go to career-image.com. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this was helpful. Again, feel free to comment. Please comment and send some likes, share it, do what you can, and let me know other topics that you all are interested in talking about. Until next time, don't forget to command your day.